Good afternoon, guys, or good evening. It's 4:34 p.m. Today is February 7th. Today is Tuesday, and we had a lot of swings, right? So hold on just a second. Let me. So we had a lot of Fed speaker talking today. Going into the day, we know that 12:40 Powell is speaking, right? So before 12:40, the ideal way is to wait till 12:40 and then trade after 12:40, basically after 1 o'clock. So by the time you have enough information, okay, and the morning trading, it would be tricky because price may chop around. That's the whole, that was it happen that usually it happens, when market is waiting for either news or Powell's speech, right? So but overall, if you see here, I'm running the same statement here, right? That Apple, Google, Amazon earnings, Friday's Globex low is a key level for these stocks, right? So it's a running statement, and you can actually go back to Friday's range, Globex low, and you can mark it off, draw a line there, and then see whether today those stocks, stayed below it or bounce off from that area, or even it came down to there, not, that you have to check. Most likely, since price went higher, right, it must have bounced from this area, so at least that's the key, that they are holding it, right? So if they are holding it, market is not going to go down, right? It can bounce, but as long as they are holding it, market will bounce. Now if overnight sellers were strong, then they have to keep price ideally below preferred sellers area in both indexes, right? Dow is this and this important, okay? So Dow is expected to move 500 to 1000 points within next 2 days. Now we have seen swings today, right? Today we saw a swing almost for 500 points both ways actually, right? So Dow is gaining a momentum here, so it will move another 300 to 500 points tomorrow or day after, but it will move, within that 2 days window. Today's plan is to favor both sides, right? So I'm keeping the plan open because of Powell, only because of Powell, but I'm also I'm adding a statement: slight favor to buyers. See, if you see price continues to hold above 24-hour mid, basically whatever the support we have below that mid in our chart, okay? So below 24-hour mid, whatever the support, if it is holding it above it, we are going to slightly favor longs, okay? Ideal trade setup might happen around preferred sellers and buyers area, and break below, above, most likely goal is to go to backup areas and then call it a day off, okay? So dream numbers 532, 475, and then you can see it, 475 dream number, held it today, right? 532, you can see it here. Let me shrink the chart so you can see. 532, right? Since overnight you can see it, held it here as a for sellers, then 475 held it, then again 532 held it here during Powell's speech, move started from it, and right from that 532, right, then it went higher, where backup sellers area, right? As I said, preferred sellers area above backup sellers area, right? Then what happened? Then you can hold on, let me see, that's a preferred buyers area, right? Now that's a preferred sellers area, correct? So above preferred sellers area, price is trying to get to backup sellers area. See that? To the T, right? Then this was a good area, that's why there is a reason it's a backup sellers area, right? I didn't keep the backup sellers area here, but I choose this location, right? So there is a reason. Yes, however, I choose this location, not here, but this area and this area, they were tagged together, so and you can see the response from there, right? So here, so I think couple of folks were long, from here, in Dow. So Dow was at equivalent level 34,200, that was the equivalent levels. They were all coming into the resistance at the same time. So right after taking a profit here somewhere, somebody asked, can I still go long? I said no, it's too risky, and it's luckily look at this, see that after that. So because if you go long, let's say if you miss this ride, right, and now you are thinking, okay, this area and this area will become support. Yes, that is the expectation, but I said don't go long, but keep an eye on this area, and you can see it, price just slice through it, right? I also explained, how price is coming down is important. If it is just stepping down, don't do anything. Just straight exhaustion, it's a buy, but I said don't do anything. And then there was a response here, you can see it, 35 area, right? Dow was at the same time in the levels, NQ was in the level, this level, right? So they were all in the support. You can buy it actually here. So because it was at that time, it was straight exhaustion, no stepping down, right? But then I also typed that 48, 56, and then these are the exit for this long. NQ, I also typed couple of levels. So you have to scale or exit, because it's a Powell driven speech. Powell is still talking. You never know, what's going to happen next. So you have to at least scale something, risk break even. If this is a good support, right, which is in this case it is. If price went through it, it should hold it, right? But that doesn't mean it has to hold it. So first time up, yes, take a long, but then if you see this, you bail out, break even, And now at this point, when price slices through it, doesn't mean you have to short it here. Yes, you can short right away right there, but I wouldn't advise, because news driven stuff, right? It can bounce, because the more it comes down in this fashion, right, it's an exhausted situation. At any point, buyers can step in. It's not just going to tank today or crash today, right? Because overall buyers are still in control. That's the first thing you have to keep in mind. So the more price comes down this way in few minutes without pausing, there would be a reversal effect comes into play. That means anytime when price may bounce from here, maybe from here, maybe from here, see this level 4098, right? It's a level, right? Valid level. That's why it's on the chart. You can see, look at this, to the T, right? To the T, pretty much. Look at this, to the T. Look at this, to the T, right? So levels are good, but on some day, especially during the news time, price may tend to go through it. For example, this preferred buyers area, right? So ideally, I want to see price holding below preferred sellers area, right? In both NQ and ES. This is NQ's preferred sellers area, right? So it was holding it, right? But as I also said, if it is holding it above 24 over mid or whatever the support below, right underneath it, which is, for example, this is 16, right? So during Powell's speech, you can see it, 16 held, right? Then this mid held, and then rally. See my point? So above this area, you have to favor long. Below this area, shorts. But in the morning in pre-market voice, I said, since price is coming down, long makes sense in terms of risk reward perspective. Short at the tail end does not make sense. That means no short, unless if price goes below this preferred buyers area strongly, then pull back, then you can think about short. Otherwise, no shorts, no long if you are not comfortable. But risk reward perspective, long makes sense, but you have to wait for a setup. That is what I said in the pre-market voice and during live session, around 9:30, 9:45 when price was doing this. Here I said also, when price was here and bounced from here, I said 06, 04 is a pending area. It should come down there. you know, and NQ I said 475 or this area, it should come down, right? When it bounced from here, and then it came down, right? So then I said, now the target is achieved for the sellers because price has been selling off since morning, right? And it is 10:30 or 10:15, 20, whatever time at that time. I also said, if Powell is speaking at 12:40, it is unlikely that price will do a major move. That means only option is what? Go down a little, chop around, come back in, going somewhere here, and during Powell's speech, open right here. Here also I said 22 in ES is a pending target for buyers, for a price to get to, you know. So all those key points I gave it in this call, right? And then here I also gave a hint also that if watch 13-14 area, if you see a strong 5-minute close, that's a sign. After having a bounce, if you see a sign, then it will run into 22, you know. NQ also same time, I also told the same thing, you know, that it will run into this area, or at least this 552, or you know, so here also I said NQ may run to 550, you know, when it was bouncing from here I said it may go straight to 550. ES may go straight to 1819 when price was here, or 22. So they did actually went to this area, you know, in the morning itself. But then I said there is a pending stuff here, you know. So when I saw this 1, 2, 3 5-minute candle going above 13-14, that was the sign. It went all the way up to here and then pull back into preferred buyers area, and price held it and then take out here again this 13-14. That's where you go long if you are trading by the time, you know. So that was a good long targeting 22, and then you wait for Powell, you know. NQ same time here, you know, you can go long here right at this rim number, target this high, or wherever ES hits 22, you bail out in NQ. Okay, so for this 552, you know, you can even target, right? And then you have to wait for Powell's speech. So we didn't do anything here per se, you know. Then this was the long, right? Now you are waiting for Powell's speech. Right before the speech, right, what happened? Price went through this 22, right? It was chopping around here, right? And then right before the speech, the price came down. See, now it's a tricky thing, right? So on a one way, so if you look at it here, price was trading here, right? It was so close to this area and this area, and it was right here. And then right before the speech, you know, there was a, you know, this breakdown of this balance, and then price came down straight here, right? So it came down where it came down, right? That's the first thing. And where it was during Powell's speech, right? It was at the blue line. Blue lines are our hunting levels. You can see it here also. It was at the dream number, not hunting, close to hunting level, I would say. Blue lines, you know, these blue lines, right? So you have to watch during Powell's speech. You can't do anything, but at least you know the price is in the good support, right? So you have to watch whether it breaks through it, go out of this range or this range. So because this was the key area. See, ideally, if any longs, right, has to be above this area or from this area, right? That's the whole idea. Above preferred sellers, this was a preferred sellers, it will run into backup sellers, right? Or backup sellers was so close by here, correct? So you can't just take exit here. Yes, you can, but NQ's backup seller is far, right? So you have to watch NQ's movement along with ES, right? And especially when price, see, these levels are close by, there was a reason for it. They have all that both of this level has this own weightage. So the way I was thinking is, price was, when I wrote a note, price was here, right? So since it was stepping up, right, from here it can bounce, go here, like take out this area, make a false sense that it is breaking out, go here and then take, right? I had that idea in mind earlier in the morning, you know, but price didn't even go higher. So that's why I put this as a backup sellers area, but then when you see it here, that price already balanced before this area, and there had a failed breakdown here pretty much, right? And it had a balance built up here, and it has a balance this way also before the Powell speech, and now during the speech it is breaking out above this area, right? And now it closed above this area too. Then it is not going to stop right here. At least it will go to this next key level, or maybe here, so that's why you take a long right here, which is this area, and NQ this area, target this. Okay, now let's say you don't want to take a long because it's a news driven, then you wait to see what's going on, right? So when price went higher so fast, right, now if any switch here, you don't do anything. You don't want to short, even though it's a good area. You don't want to short because now price ran up so fast without any breathing room, so there is a risk that it can fall down. But where it stops, I have no clue. I know it may stop here, but there is no guarantee there, right? So you have to wait to see what's the after effect. Now that was the after effect, right? Now when price went through this area and this earlier 13-14 area in one go, that means whatever we thought here, opposite is true here. Price may get exhausted at any support and it can reverse back up the way it came down. Simple, So how do we trade this thing then, right? Because now either we can watch or trade these things, right? So now you have to watch here. Breakdown of this area, correct? Now this area preferred buyers should turn into what? At support, turn into resistance, correct? That's the first thing it should do. So you're watching it, right? And let's see if price makes a new lower low and then pull back here, we can short, right? However, if you look at NQ, right, ES broke down here below this, close below this, right into this level. See, that's another key, right? However, NQ went below this, but if you look at it, it bounced, it did not even close below it. If you look at 5-minute close, so that's something off, right? See, after taking out this, it should have just tagged, but it bounced immediately and closed above this area. See, that was a sign something is off. Okay, that price may go higher, right? But we are just observing it, correct, at this point. Then what happened? Then the next step, price came down, right? So whoever got stuck here, right, given an opportunity here, so basically there are people, right, who went long here, so they build out here. You can see it's a dream, it's a hunting level to the T, right? Same thing they did it also here, that 532 area. Remember, where the move started. So I'm sure somebody went long there, right? When price went down, they build out here on the way up. Now there are no buyers left here, correct? Now it's everybody is selling. Okay, so when price went down here at this point in time, you are thinking what? You have to think, okay, fine, sellers reacted here also, price getting all the way down, it pulled back, right? And now it should go down. This bar should have gone down close here, right? That is the expectation. Okay, remember, we are still not trading. It has to take out these lows and all these things, right? At the time, you have to look at internals. Are they strongly trending down? Yes. Look at this. Yes, right? But if you combine everything, it's a neutral. It's not a one way. It's a neutral internals. Even though it's trending down, it's a neutral overall. Okay. Now, so internals are not giving me any information here. See, look at the momentum, up, 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 right? And then I have straight down momentum, right? Which is exhaustion itself. Now, on one side, I know expectation is it should go down. On the other side, I'm thinking, okay, from here all the way here, and it stopped here, and it's chopping. either is getting up for the new downside move or it is getting up for the upside move. So what I want to see is same thing whatever I saw here, right? Like, okay, nice 5-minute close above 13-14 area, correct? If that happens again here, see here there was no close, see that there was no close above this preferred seller buyers area here. See, there is no 5-minute close, right? So sellers are still there. All I want is first close here and then close above 13-14. Then I know at least price will run towards this area, and then here it may chop around, maybe, may not. If it doesn't and then go higher, most likely it will go higher back to the top, right? So let's look into it. This was your close, right? All now I have to see is what? Close above 13-14 area or this high, and I'm good to go, right? So here this high taken out, which was 19, right? And then also if you zoom in, you will see it. 13-14 area is the area which I gave you in Discord, so this is 13-14 area. Okay, now look, you can see it literally here came down, right? I wanted to see first close above this area 41.10, which is 5-minute close. Okay, so I'm just drawing randomly here. Okay, so 10, right? 5-minute close, pull back to 10 in 1-minute chart, right? Now you are watching it. Okay, so it bounced, right? Pull back, bounce. Now you know some buyers are there, right? It even go down below this earlier low. It was holding above it. See, even you can look at it here. See, this is very nice price action. This was earlier low, 0550, right? Look at this. When it bounced before going to 10, look at this, pull back to this area, held it. Then about 10, 14, important area, right? So you got rejection but held 10, then sliced through 10, 14, and this high. See, this was the time you go long, right here, or even here earlier if you want to, so. And now what? Now you would look for this targets, and watch scale, scaling, all this thing. Then what happened? Price sliced through this area, pretending it was not even there. See, this was a sign it wants to run up, and you can see the moment it took out, slight pullback, gone. Same thing here, touched here, slight pullback, gone. See that? So those are the signs. So now price wants to reverse, so that's why you take this long here and this long here. Remember, this was a preferred sellers area. Price went through it, right? Above it, below it, and now it is bouncing again, and then it came back up straight above it, and it's holding it here. This is the sign you go long, so that's how you trade it. If you want to really trade during the news, you have to be very picky in watching the price actions to see how it is supporting the levels. Then you go long, right? And let's say you missed out all this damn thing. Now what? Now price went all the way to this 66, this area again here. See that at 3 o'clock or 3:10 or 5, right? So at this point in time, let's say right here, what are you thinking? Man, I missed all this move. How can I do something now, right? How can I trade here? So obviously shorting is out of scope now, right? Look at this momentum now, completely above zero line. AD is also now started rising. It's neutral, so there is no information there. At least momentum is now holding. Towards the closing, where sellers already had a chance to break down, they couldn't, and now towards the closing price is rising. It's not going to, let's say, it may go higher above this area to this 84 area, which is, see, if you look at the Discord today, I said 41.85 or 97 it can go, and this area of course. So once it is already tested and responded, second time up it may not respond, but we can't go long here, so we have to wait for a pullback. Now pullback areas are, now since it's a closing time, has to be aggressive, which is this area, right? Because that's where it tried to here go down, which is close to this high also. Balance top, right? You can imagine a balance, it's a top, and then here also you can imagine a balance. This is a balance bottom, right? So it may pull back here. If it does, I'm watching it. If it pulls back there, slight pause, price try to go higher, let's say about this, I'm good to go long. Same time in NQ, I want to see similar thing, right? Which is also from the levels. So NQ, this was the area. See that here, tiny balance here, right? Balance bottom. So these are the areas, right? 660 to 670, right? And then NQ was here at that time with ES, right? So now you look what happens next. Right here, see, straight plus down, it took out this low also, right? Now let's watch. Okay, so right before this, below this low, it tried to bounce it, right? And look at the momentum at that time, right? It's slightly around zero line. Now you look, price came down here, right, into this area, right? Ideally I want to, you know, touch this area, you know, by price, and then see. Let me remove this. Okay, now you look this, it went through this area, correct, and it came down where, remember I said this is the top, see that, but it went through this area. Now it is like breaking down this balance, correct? So remember, we are not looking for a breaking down balance, we are looking for what? Failed breakdown. Simple, right? That is what I said. If it comes down here, I wanted to see what? Going back above this, it's a closing time, most likely it's going to run higher above this, right? So the moment you see this and price going above this, closing above it, you can go long right there. If you are lucky, it may pull back, right? Maybe 53.50 or so, go long. NQ did the same thing, right? So, and then you want to see instant momentum. So here, see that price give you a chance also, right here. See, after this I said 53.50 or so, right? Look at this, probably it's a 53.50. see, 53.50. that's all. That was your long right there, right here. At the same time you take a long in NQ. Now you target what? 84, or at least top of this 75 or so. Okay. Now look at this, 67, 75, 84, and you're done. See, so that's how you trade it, you know. And actually Dow also, Russell also, you know, I gave all the levels for Russell. 39 I gave it, 49 I gave it, 57 in Russell I gave it, you know, 75 even I gave it, all the levels, you know. And Russell bounced pretty good. Same time Dow also I gave a level, 925, real time 840, you know. So all those indexes, you know, behave very well today from the levels. It's just the swings was where the problems, but you have to read it, you know, properly. That's all price action is about. You have to read it, be patient, you know, and then trade it. And that be all for today. So now I'll see you tomorrow.